Should we get going?
Sure. That sounds good. Well, thanks for coming. I sure recognize a lot of the people that are out there, and I know for this is being recorded so for the sake of that, I'm going to just introduce myself quickly. I've had the privilege of working with special education educators for over 13 years now, offering up work and life skills assessments and programming options. And this past summer, I ended up on a very unexpected and different kind of Zoom call. I was approached with what I saw as a perfect companion product or AT enhancement to the PACE Lab, subtask assessments and accommodations, as well as a direct correlation to the adapted project discovery curriculum components like video modeling, visual schedules, vocabulary boards, etc. But I saw so much more and quickly fell in love with Avail by CentralReach. So it is my privilege to introduce to you Lisa Marie Clinton, who is the founder of avail and developed this program due to her needs in her special education classrooms in Ireland. Lisa Marie.
Thank you, Heidi. And thank you for both of your interest and bringing this to the contacts and the relationships that you have. So my name is Lisa Marie Clinton. I am actually the founder of avail that you're going to see more of today, which was developed here in Ireland. And based on both my own need as an educator and kind of professional experience in the space. And 2 years ago, we partnered with CentralReach, who are the leading providers in autism and IDD care and services. And they offer a number of different solutions from, educational assessments to data connection and digital teaching software, which is avail, which we're going to focus on today. So, bit of housekeeping, feel free to comment and use the question and answer section as part of this Zoom. We will keep the session brief because I understand it is early morning and you guys are probably running into a school afterwards. So thanks for investing your time to explore how you can provide digital prompts to your students, and also feel free to reach out to Heidi afterwards. This session will be recorded, so you will have access to it afterwards. So why? What made me as an educator go on this journey and develop this digital offering? So as the focus moves into more functional life skills, from the age of kind of 12 or even earlier up, we know that task analysis is great practice to teach discrete steps. And so to the picture prompts, and I'm sure everyone is probably nodding as I present that, but I questioned, were we doing enough? And was it matched to the students' capabilities and interest in technology? For example, at the time, many years ago, when I was working in the field, I was working alongside a little boy called Liam. He was 5, he was autistic and non-verbal, but extremely clever, as you guys know, with the students that you work with. So I definitely would not limit, his capabilities. But during an afternoon session, as I was gathering keep on pulling this back, my laminated pictures, he, of course, was taking pictures on his iPad, which was his biggest reinforcer, but it really made me question, who is the educator here? I'm with my, picture prompts, and he's recording and pictures and utilizing all the features of his iPad. So I kind of, questioned who's teaching who here. And that same boy was not generalizing his skills that I was teaching him in that session and those 4 walls to be utilized outside, and generalized in the community with his parents and in school. So he was mastering skills, but they weren't transferring. And at that time, his parents were funding this privately. So these needed to be generalized, or else I felt that I wasn't doing my job as efficiently as I would have liked. So that day I knew I had to do more, and I questioned, how can I as such digitalize me? Which, when you say it, it sounds kind of quite technical, but it's not. So how can I digitalize the prompts that I was delivering to Liam, that I was trying to educate parents on, and provide 24/7 prompts as and when he would have needed them, which I thought would be obviously an incredible resource for him, for others, professional, and for his parents. And to extend on that, then how can I provide instructions, or how can I ensure these instructions are effective and that we can collect quantifiable information and demonstrate how, when, and the results based on each one of those goals that I created. So as the story unfolds, turns out this was not just my challenge. All educators and professionals face the same problems that I had back then, and are searching to find a way to provide the best personalized approach to enable their students to be fully independent. So this brings us along to avail, Assisted Visuals Achieving Independent Living. And as such, addressing those challenges that we just noted, providing evidence-based practices to augment teaching services and the prompts that you're currently providing. So think about your students right now. Think of what supports they need. And as we know, we would love to provide a lot more supports to students that we actually can. Everyone is so strapped for time and resources and even energy. How can we really augment what we're doing? and further to that, how can we provide the data and reports to demonstrate progression on those goals, to then pull that information into a possible IEP or transition plan. So avail is actually deployed on an application. It can be Android or iOS or even Chromebooks, which can work both offline and online for students. And then we have a web portal. So it is a kind of a two-piece system as such. And on the web portal, you have access to our content and library and general admin features that you would expect. So let's see it in action. This video was recorded actually in a job fair in New Mexico, where we wanted to observe and gain feedback directly from students. So one, comparing the effectiveness of your traditional prompts or even your one-to-one instructions compared to digital prompts provided by avail. So let's compare, is there any difference in this teaching approach? And one, the level of engagement for students. Are students ready for digital prompts, or do they prefer the one-to-one measure, as you can see in this video? So let's see what happened.
During the Project Search Assessment Day in New Mexico, each individual that visited the avail table was asked to fold silverware with two different teaching methods. The first method was just a few visuals and verbal cues. And then again, using digital prompts with the Avail app to complete the task. Chris and Megan are shown here completing the task with in-person verbal prompting coming from the Avail specialist. Prompting was required to complete the necessary steps. During each learner's second attempt, they used video modeling, images, and audio prompts using the Avail software to complete the task independently without the previous in-person prompts. This was the learner view when using Avail to roll the silverware.
Go get a knife, a fork, and a spoon and a napkin. Put knife in the top corner of napkin.
Avail offers a built-in assessment tool to help staff identify mastery and fade out prompts to reach independence. An assessment was completed during each learner's first and second attempt of this task. Taryn reached 50% accuracy in his first attempt and 87.5% on his second attempt using Avail. Aiden reached 12.5% accuracy on his first attempt and 87.5% accuracy on his second attempt using Avail. Megan reached 12.5% accuracy on her first attempt and 100% on her second attempt using Avail. On average, each learner reached between 87.5% and 100% accuracy during the second attempt of folding silverware when using avail versus traditional verbal and visual prompting. By using avail's digital prompts, each individual can learn the specific instructions for each step in this task, replay those steps, and complete the task with more accuracy and confidence.
So I think we can all agree that they were definitely engaged with technology. So a nice video, and anyone that wants access to it, please let us know. We can send it over for your team. So to extend on that, how often do you guys use task analysis or chaining strategies to teach a new skill? And are strategies like this scalable, or do you lose one in a structure and then the kind of schedule becomes redundant? Here is how you can create those digital prompts. We do have a clip to show you how you will do that in a moment. But again, think of the steps of a skill that you're teaching, and then think about how you can teach that. What are you providing right now? And then, you know, question and brainstorm. Well, actually, that can be video prompting, or that audio and instruction I can give can be an audio by, you know, obviously utilizing this feature. So providing instructions using video prompting, pictures, audio, and text. And again, the system is cleverly just utilizing native features on a smart device, or you can upload it on the web portal as well to digitalize your instructions. And this enables us to have 24 learning opportunities. So again, when we mentioned when we sent out the webinar, is that, you know, now we have ability to expand our teaching beyond the school, and that we can hand over a really practical and valuable resource for parents, which, you know, their goal might be working on life skills or home strategies or independent living. Here you can provide a structure for them to then practice and offer this at home. So, and as we know, if we allow repetition to those students who may have additional needs or need further exposure, you know, if we can have that across all environments, you know, we'd hope that mastery would happen at a faster pace. So as part of creating it, you type in the step, you select the prompt that you want to use that best fits that step, any timer that is associated with it or would benefit the learner to do this for a certain, you know, period of time, and then any safety icons. You just go through that process to create the content that you want. And the joy of this is that once it's created, once it can be shared as a resource across your school or your district or whatever it may be. So somebody else can use that template and then have the option to personalize it. So as we mentioned, not alone do we want to create content through the system, we want to know that it's effective. Is it working? Is someone progressing? How can we utilize all of this information that the system collects so you can then use it for reports or progression or just kind of sharing with others the teaching that you're doing. So from here you can see the system's use, the learner exposure, and then hopefully have a nice upward graph like you see here, that from our assessments we can demonstrate that this student is becoming more independent. You know, maybe it's an employment skill, or it could be, it even could be an academic skill, but whatever goal that person is working towards. And just to give you a bit of an understanding, you'll see it later on, but we do a lot of work with transition programs with VR and support employment programs, and now actually kind of bringing it to the educational space, probably for those age like more so maybe 10 onwards, where, as I mentioned, we have the focus on, okay, functional life skills this student needs to have to be successful, be it preparing them for employment, for education, or for adulthood, for community, whatever it may be. How can we best teach it? And then Finally, taking a holistic approach. This was one of our most requested features based on people using Avail. That was such a valuable resource for that individual. How can we have multiple access points for parents to maybe create or tweak content, for other professionals that's working with that student, obviously for the teacher, for a job coach, for your paraprofessional? How can everyone have access to the content to contribute, and then have access to the data for whatever need? And that's kind of controlled in our admin, so you can select who that might help. And it means post school that you can easily, I suppose, attach this to another service or another funder, that we want to ensure that this lives on, that the skills that was created and mastered in the system can be transferred across that person's kind of domains, whatever it may be. So, and that's really where parents do see a lot of value, is that, because the parents I've worked with, what happens when you leave us, and this, there's a child who had great traction in school, it's such a fear that you're now gone and I don't have access to it, and we need to make sure this person doesn't go back on some of the skills that they've mastered. So another video, I'm going to skip this on to show you how you would create content through the app, but also you can do it on the web portal.
The Add Step button in the bottom right-hand corner. A staff member could also choose to edit a task if they needed to change the title, the image, the repertoire, or description. But from here, we can begin to add and edit steps. So we'll select the Add Step button. We'll title our step. And then we'll see all of the different prompts that we can choose from within the Avail application. These prompts include video, audio, image, or text. An audio or image could be combined. A timer could be set, and a safety icon could be set as well. From here, we'll decide what the best prompt for this learner is. We can choose image. We could choose to take a photo or upload an image from our device. For this step, we're going to take an image directly from the app. And once we're satisfied with this step, we'll select Add Step. From here, we can see that this step has been added, and we can choose the 3 dots on the right-hand side to edit that step or deactivate that step. And if this is not the only step in our task, we can again select the blue icon at the bottom that says Add Step. We'll title that step.
And you go through the process to create all of those steps. So what we see a lot in maybe transition programs is that, and again, think about your local community and who are the employers within that area. And, it would be amazing if we could work alongside them to understand the roles that they expect from students and create these sort of like induction programs or content to raise awareness of what it looks like to work here, and here are the steps to become, I don't know, whatever it may be. And that's, I think, what Heidi spoke about earlier, PACE Labs or Project Discovery, augmenting those prompts that we can also have alongside the practical piece. We have a digital prompting tool as well. So we do have content, as you can see. You can easily create your own content, but for those that, perhaps maybe as a starter kit, or for teachers who want a bit of a template, or just kind of understand what goals can be created, we have a library, and you can utilize that and adjust the prompts or the videos or whatever it may be. But here's an example of how others are using Avail and what they're teaching, ranging from behavior management to home skills to independent living and employment, whatever it may be. So finally, once deployed within your school and with your student, we do, as I mentioned, collect quantifiable data that the system just pulls. You just run a report, and the joy is that it's automatically there and available for you to download a CSV file or PDF. My favorite is to visually see how you're teaching these prompts, to make it real, to say, this is what I created, here's how I'm teaching it, And here hopefully is how you can see that it's progressing. You know, that to me years ago was very subjective, and as we move into the adult space, it is subjective because we don't have time to collect all of this information about the goals that we're working on. And then you can have any comments that you may have alongside a skill. So again, think of your IEPs and think of how this could potentially enhance the information that you're already providing. Now, I know we're kind of running up in time and it was short and sweet, but I don't want to make you late for school. So as we conclude, I want to present a poll that will kind of come up on your screen now soon, and we would love your feedback. And as we mentioned, I see it actually coming up there now. This is recorded, so we'll share it with you in the next 2 days. But if anyone that wants any more information about pricing or training or whatever it may be, feel free to reach out to Heidi, and we'll just check if there's any Q&As or if there's any questions that you have. Heidi, you're good.
I don't see any questions yet, but I think everyone knows how to get a hold of me. So thank you very much for coming, everyone.
Thank you all. Have a great day.